Hello, fellow Factorians. Welcome to my Pyanodons challenge run. During the last episode, I got tar cracking working, which had been a big goal. But I think in the excitement to reach that goal, I overstretched myself. And it was not good. I think there's a lot of things that I'm learning about how I need to play to beat challenges more often. And there's a couple ways that I want to address this. First of all, is just get good. Well, how do I get good? Well, I think there's a couple of things that I really need to focus on to be better. First is to obsessively use the Ghost Deconstruction Planner as I'm building at the end to verify that I've built everything that I intended to build. I haven't been kind of religious about that, and I need to be. The second thing I need to do is before I run out to start working on something else, and Factorio train of thought keeps chugging along. I need to check that the build is working, or remember to come back to verify that the build is working before it's getting toward the end of the episode. So that's another bit. But I also need to do a better job of planning and managing my time during the episode, because like last time, kind of almost went to 2 hours of play, so 4 hours, almost 4 hours of hands-off time. That's too long. And that was because, I did an hour's worth of building stuff, and then I needed to do an hour's worth of checking it over, especially because I was hooking up things that were not running from the previous episodes. That was like a pile of finished work. So what I'm going to do to address that is I'm going to start using a taskless mod, another one of Rhaegar's mods. He's very incredibly prolific, considering that he also works at Woob. And then I'm going to have tasks that I can do at the front half of an episode, like that are going to be kind of dangerous, that will affect science and potentially cause breakages, and tasks that I can do at the back end of the episode and still, like hook up that are more, like safer. I can also just like finish a dangerous task and not hook it up, so that's another potential way. So I'll use the task list to track that, and also kind of show what the plan is, and have a backlog of things that I want to address. So I've put together a few tasks for today's episode in the course of the hands-off time. Then the hands-off time, I run around and collect more fish. I guess I'm a little bit addicted. I thought I wasn't going to do too much more exploration, but then found some lakes, and then I went to kind of balance out the rest of the width of the base versus the distance from my starter base, and found more lakes, and end up with like over 1,000 more fish, which is going to be useful. And then, my base falls down. I'm actually okay with that. I think I would have been more upset in some ways if things had worked out, considering all the frenetic little fixes that I did toward the end of the episode, rather than. So I don't want to reward myself for bad behavior in that sense. So yeah, we've got another addition to the Memento Mori, and I'll let Playtime Me tell you about what's going on there. Also, if you catch it at the beginning, because I installed another mod, for some reason the production combinator reset itself to 1 minute. I think I might actually keep it at 1 minute eventually, but because I was wrong. When the base is working right, it can stay pretty well pegged to a particular production target. So I think that's wraps up what I want to talk about, and on to the meat of the episode. Hey, sorry about this, but I've had to re-export episode 13 and 14 now due to some issues with the video editing. It appears that I have to improve my attention to detail on both the building and on the video recording. Like I said, I'm new to this. I'm going to improve, promise. Thanks for your patience. So, the base broke. As I said in video, I think I'm not surprised, and in fact, I think I would have been a little upset if I'd not broken the base after the willy-nilly way I was working toward the end of the episode. And hopefully the improvements that I'm planning will make things a little bit less anxiety-inducing for both myself and you as the viewer. As anybody who's familiar with Pyanodons hard mode can attest, it is always, at this stage, it's almost always going to be the stone. Stone is like the first boss in a Souls-like game or Ninja Gaiden, where they force you to fight a really tough boss with nearly no skills and a rusty dagger, because they want to, I don't know, verify that you'll be able to hang or something like that. So we've got nothing to work with except inserters and pure gumption. So the problem is a little bit subtle in some ways and not that subtle in others. The subtle aspect is that the stone is backed up back at the tar cracking area because not enough of the stone from there is being consumed, and therefore carbolic is backing up. And carbolic backing up means that the tar cracking backs up, and that means not enough pitch, and that means etc. etc. So if I kind of clear out this line, the system would go back to working well, like this line, the one that's coming in from the top. Obviously, that's not a real solution. Although I will point out, that production was pretty good for a long time, for almost an hour. The second problem is that I didn't check YFC carefully enough. And the thing I didn't spot is that to do it this way, I need 6.58 high pressure furnaces consuming stone and pitch to make bricks, and not 6. I only have 6 because I cut off this line. So that's a second problem. Another problem, yes, there are more. Another problem is that I'm letting this iron production basically just flow continuously as much as it wants, which is good in some ways because I need to keep the iron flowing because, I need to be able to feed iron to make empty planters boxes, and I need to make some amount of small parts if I want to be stable. But the problem here is that I'm just letting it make all the small parts. Right here, I'm not saying, okay, if you back up on small parts, I have enough iron, and therefore I will produce less stone. It'll just end up making more and more small parts to feed into this buffer. So that was one item, and one that I'd predicted when I was writing this task list, address the small parts buffer. I do need to find a way eventually to drain this buffer out because, what was I thinking here? Buffers are not the solution. This was a temporary hack, and I should have removed it a while ago. Oh, also, I need to go into hands-on mode. I guess I was in lecture mode there for a bit. So hands-on mode, reset the timer. Also, I want to go to a 1 minute rolling timer. Turns out that I was lying about the hiccups being a significant enough problem to be worth a 10-minute selector, and this causes other problems. Like if I fix it, then it's gonna take 10 minutes to actually. Oops, why? Oh, yeah, because you're low. Because I'm not making enough signs. Okay. Anyway, that's expected. So yeah, if I fix it, it's going to take 10 minutes for the fix to flow through, and then even I have to kind of cognizant of that. Although with trying not to break the base for the last 30 minutes, that will be less of a concern. I still don't want to do it. So addressing the buffer just happened just by making this belt flow through. Fixing this down here should be relatively easy. I just need to take some of my stone and pipe it into these high pressure furnaces. Now the question is, which do I take? The stone from iron actually is the one that must flow. So I can take this, connect it up, great. But this is the stone that is the actual problem at the moment, and I need to clear it out. So I will connect those, and then at the back end where the stone connects to each other, here's where I need to kind of like do a multi-level merging priority system using inserters only. So here I need to take, let's do this with regular belts. Take this and merge it up here. This is by the way why I said I need to leave myself a stone area to process this boss monster of the stone system from the game. We'll do that, and then then we'll take this and connect it up here and add another merger from the pure pitch-based stone construction system. Brick construction system. Ah, words. You constantly are failing me. Okay. Okay, so these will usually back up. There's going to be some extra stone coming through here. I kind of want to cut off these furnaces, but at this point the furnaces are going to contribute extra because my pitch system is still probably no bueno. Now the other thing I can do to make this a little bit more solid is I can void carbolic oil, which feels terrible. I don't want to avoid carbolic oil. I really hate that idea. After I worked so hard to get to the good carbolic oil, now I'm going to think about avoiding carbolic oil. But it's more important that the base is rock solid than that I don't void some amount of carbolic oil. So I need to grab my carbolic oil and push it up to be voided. I was flipping the pipes around, by the way, because Factorio 2.0, you can definitely do sushi piping, but Factorio still really doesn't want you to connect pipes with separate fluids on the line. So your best way to do it is to not mix fluids. Okay, get rid of those fluids. Now you can spin around the pipes. Sorry, the pumps, and now the sushi system will work. Except, oh, and I didn't want to do this. I wanted to use a controllable pump to overflow. Okay, now it'll work. I just voided a bunch of carbolic, which I didn't want to do, but now things should go back to operating, and hopefully my science will... Yeah, my science has already started going. Great. That's fixed, in theory. So we can get on to doing productive, non-fixy-fixy things. If we look at my task list, let's claim that I've addressed the small parts buffer. Now I can do a dangerous thing. By the way, so like I'm saying acetylene is dangerous just because I have to go consume coke, and coke is part of my production of tar and coal gas, and therefore kind of directly impacts things. So I could mess the base up by touching coke, whereas like tin and mining and lead mining are safe because, you know, the worst I can do there is probably, I guess, take away too much steam. It's slightly dangerous, but I can use overflow. Here's what I can do. I can save myself some controllable valves. This is a quick thing, and if you're not getting early controllable valves, oh, okay. Oh, my starter base is messed up. Great. What's going on? That's going on. The minor errors that break everything. Okay, so this should start going in. As I was saying, I've got two controllable valves here that I'm using to control whether I make carbon dioxide here, say this one, and whether I make extra muddy sludge. Let's save this one. And to not use those controllable valves, I'm going to use circuitry. Now, how do I use circuitry but when I'm not even going to use a pump, you might ask. Or you might not, because I don't know. You have no idea what I'm doing. So I should tell you about it. What I'm going to try to do is set up a circuit line that goes all the way from the places that I need, that I'm making these as a buffer. Okay. I can run this line and keep talking. To down where I am producing it as a byproduct. And then I can read the internal buffers of those machines and only make carbon dioxide or extra muddy sludge when those internal buffers are empty. And that acts kind of like a controllable valve for this particular system. Why do you need to? You need to be reset again. All right. Well, let's hope you can stay above the value. It's okay. I just don't like the thing blinking even during the hands-on time. Okay, so run a circuit. Don't worry, we'll go into accelerated time. I won't keep babbling this whole episode. But I felt like there were some interesting things going on, and maybe they're worth talking about. Hopefully you agree with me, and if not, hopefully you can fast forward your YouTube video. So where's the muddy sludge? Yeah, there it is. This is the extra muddy sludge that I'm making. Here's the lime that I'm making. Find that. It's right next door. Alright. This one didn't even need this long line running through it. It didn't need that at all. You can go away. I'll just isolate these. Again, just for no reason besides aesthetics. And it'll remind me that, like one system is separate from the other. So here we will enable, disable, read the contents, including crafting, and if carbon dioxide is 0, that's when we will enable it. Actually would be useful to verify that the circuit is doing what I think it does. Okay, so you're fine because you have lime there to be made. I can just take away these circuit wires. Now, oh wow, that is a lot of linking iron mines up there. If I fix those, maybe something happened. Here's my read contents. Again, you're full of sand, so that's actually okay. Now I can connect and be piped in directly. Now I can validate that muddy sludge isn't full in that other machine. And then you will run. Oh, you. Okay. Alright, so I get 2 of my controllable valves back to use elsewhere. And hopefully my starter base has started to go again. My science is running, so that's good. I think I'm going to fix this iron mining and be right back, and then I'm going to figure out what I want to do next afterwards. So I'll fix my my iron and be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I fixed my iron mining here, although I'm full on everything, so that's kind of moot. I do want to still keep using up iron from the soot voiding, so I will add a couple more buffers here. Yeah, more buffers, great. Also notice that these should be set lower so that those buffers get used, and probably I should have one here. But I do have a to-do item to fix my soot voiding so it actually gets recycled into the science base properly instead of relying on voiding here at the bootstrap base. Getting none of that anymore. I'm just stealing a few steel chests because I just don't want to make more. I'll have plenty to collect once I collapse that small parts buffer. Okay, so that should make sure that the iron oxide continues to get voided, which, yeah, clearly was a problem. I've been using underground belts a lot because underground belts just go down and come back up when you're building faster, and also a stack of underground belts in your inventory will make 250 tiles worth of belt distance, but versus 100 for the stack of transport belts in your inventory. But then on the other hand, when you go to look at what's going on in your base, it's a lot harder to see what's happening with the underground belt. So there's kind of at least one downside to that sort of system. All right, so I'm going to clear my inventory. I think I'm not going to do the dangerous thing. I think I'm just going to see if my science catches up and work on, in the meantime, building some tin mining. Eventually I'll do lead mining over here, and maybe I could do even solder production since these two are right next to each other. But for now, I don't need a lot of tin, and I won't need a lot of lead. In fact, I will be working on smelting all of this lead that I'm piling up here toward the end, because that'll be the safest of safe things, I hope. Unless I do another mistake with an underground pointed in the wrong direction, and then I can break my base again from just one tiny little error. So I'll get back to you after I've collected the resources to set up tin mining. Be right back. Okay, I have the materials to do the tin mining, but first I am going to go check my mine setup because I want to make sure that it's running and kind of stick to the plan that I had of making sure that in the first half hour that things are hunky-dory over here. Okay, and they're not. Well, that's not surprising, I guess. And this is why we've enacted this protocol. What's going on? No pitch? Let me guess, when I flip this around... Yeah, I forgot to flip that pump around. Okay, no harm done. I didn't even really interrupt my science because there was maybe a stone backlog that had built up over there. Wonderful. Okay, off to tin mining. Tin mining, there's not a ton to say about it, other than that it's very, very expensive on the Steam. So each tin liquid mining drill will use up 2/3. It'll be like 3 tin mines for 2 boilers. So one of these boiler stacks can run like 10 tin mines or so. So yeah, I could devote my entire Steam system up here to mining tin, which is probably going to happen, or at least to a big degree. But yeah, otherwise, I'm not sure that there's much I feel like reporting on here, or making you watch. So I'm going to head off and do this, and if there's an interesting thing, I'll bring it up, but otherwise expect tin mining to be done all in fast forward time. See you soon. Okay, so that is tin plate set up. Pulled in some ash separation, doing the smelting of the tin plate up at the top near the mines. So I should no longer be getting ash into this. Let's double check that that is working as intended. It's not going to provide me very much tin plate, as I said. I'm making half a line of tin ore, so less than 1 tin plate per second on average. Right? Should be. Yeah. The belt can't actually carry that much, so 0.8 tin plate per second. But for now, that will be plenty. Later on, I might expand this. I also set up here for doing. Oh, here's an error I'll need to address. I've set up for doing lead mining already. Here we go. This is a mistake. I kind of set up these undergrounds for another couple of lines of miners, but clearly I did it wrong. Okay, you get to watch more of my mistakes. Everything is working as intended. In terms of the stream, I mean, like, obviously, that is not correct when you're talking about everything working intended, although now it should be. I'm cycling the coal dust back into being used to furnace the tin plate, and there shouldn't be that much coal dust being created, but I may have to further address that if I do create more ash. Eventually get rid of that here. There's actually going to be more ash than tin on this line, so that's why I'm using inserters to split off the tin rather than splitting off the ash. Okay, I think that's going to be pretty good. Are you not taking off the ash now? Oh, right, because I just sabotaged that by adding a whole bunch to the pellet separator. Well, it'll get working eventually. There's more than enough capacity to clear out this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to assume that works, and even if it doesn't, I don't really need it for much except to make a seaweed farm. Yeah, I need 50 tin plate to make a seaweed farm. So in the meanwhile, I don't really want to start acetylene or another dangerous task. Obviously, at this point, I only have 5 minutes if I want to kind of shut down on time. So I think I'm going to go and plan ahead for the future. I'm also going to double check science. Let's do that. Make sure that things are running as expected this time. That looks correct. This looks reasonably correct. Bricks are backed up. Let's double check. Coal gas is being voided. The other fuel gases probably are getting completely voided. Yes. Okay, so next job. I think I'm going to plan to delete or start working through my my extra small parts by creating a second build for science here. Let's grab this. I kind of want to like set up, like I can set up a second build over here and then have it start to churn through the science that I have. The extra smart parts that I have, because I'm making some extra bricks. So yeah, enough said about that. How do I want to do this now? Yeah, I could actually fit like that. I do like making things needlessly compact, but sometimes it's entertaining. What do I do with this? Reroute the water line temporarily, at least. Probably could be brought through the soil separators that I'm going to build, but for now I don't want to interrupt science because that's important. And even this is a semi-dangerous action, but like I can see that this water line is not broken, so we'll call this safe enough. But you think also that I would be able to turn a pipe around later on, and that didn't work out, so yeah, let's leave a little bit of space here. Make sure that we're pulling the thing that we want to pull. Okay, so I can start building this. Logs. Could have a backlog of logs somewhere. I can start building this, and then roughly around the time that we call at the end of the episode, I can shut down and go to hands-off mode. There's not too much to say. Tin is done and working, and when I come back next time, I should have plenty of tin plate to make a seaweed farm or two to pile up modules for an eventual much larger seaweed farm build that I don't need for many, many episodes. So, like no rush on that. Let's wipe this out as much as possible, save myself some steel chests that I could use elsewhere. How empty are you? Okay, most of these are full now. We'll end up not needing this. So yeah, let me do a little bit of work here, and then I'll be right back to really call the episode. Okay, I'm running over my time. I got lost in building for a little bit, but I didn't want to turn this on anyway, so that's okay. I think I will just run back to the starter base, double check that things are going okay over there, especially with the iron oxide voiding, and then we will definitely call it an episode. Thank you so much for joining me. It's premature to say this, but let's hope that the starter base hasn't. I know what this is. It's me overly aggressively using the you shall not pass filter. Right, that should be fixed. Okay. Things here look mainly okay. I don't want to do that. That should... Yeah, this should be shutting down when... Oh yeah, these need to get full before it shuts down. That's okay. This is a little concerning. I will add a few more, a little bit more storage there. Shouldn't be that bad. My power system here is not running too often, but the steam is, so yeah, we definitely need a little bit more buffer here, and I just recover all those steel chests from before. I do need solder before I can actually smelt this lead, and I should also get ceramics. Eventually this will, I guess it will let me make solid core inserters slightly more efficiently, but I still want these two techs first. Yeah, okay, that's good enough. So yeah, these are not cramming up. There should be, yeah, there's very few plates in here. This is flowing. Okay, that's an episode. Let me go to hands-off mode.